est sur un congé de deuil. Our mayor's not here tonight Our mayor's not here tonight. He's on a bereavement leave. So just for information, the next public meeting, usually it's on a Monday, but next week is going to be Tuesday because the Monday is a family day. So it's going to be next Tuesday. So we'll start the meeting with the Protective Service, Protection des Services, avec Lisa.
All right, I'm chairing this meeting for Deputy Mayor McIntyre tonight. The notes go back quite a ways because we didn't have our past meeting, so I'm just going to summarize. I'm not going to go through everything, but you all had a chance to look it over. So there's quite a bit of training going on, which is great. So I just kind of listed a few highlights. There was some self-contained breathing apparatus practice. That's one that I hadn't really seen in the notes in a while, that type of training. So that was interesting. I kind of looked a little bit about what that was, more detail. So it's kind of using the equipment and I think underwater and on ground. So that's a training I haven't seen in the notes for a while. Some water management practice, driver training, obstacle course practice. Quite a few new members are completing their level 1 and also level 2. So there's some new members, which is always a good thing. And then there's 3 more members that are soon to be starting their firefighter level 1 as well. In the November report, truck number 7 was out of service, but now it is back in service, so that has been rectified. I think that's about the highlights for the fire services. Officer Chris Lewis will be at our next public meeting on February 18th. So he's going to explain more about the service, answer any of our questions. So he'll be here on the 18th. It said the 17th, so we'll have to probably let him know that it's the family day, yeah, because it'll be an empty town hall. So Chris Lewis, so that's great. So if we have any questions.
Our new officer, so
Perfect, good. And also, Councillor McIntyre was kind of thinking about the idea of having us invite some members to come to one of our meetings, just to recognize years of service. So, there's obviously many members. We see that they're presented awards at different times. I know that there was
there's one firefighter, Donald McIntyre. He's gonna be 60 years.
Yes, so.
And he's still active.
Mm-hmm.
60 years, so we have to recognize that.
So what we can do is kind of brainstorm who will recognize. Maybe we can do like a 5 years of service, 10 years. I even think even like to celebrate their first year of service, especially the younger members. To encourage them to have more members. So you'd listed a few here. So a 50 years of service, a 30 years of service. So what we could do is we could check with both brigades with the.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe in May sometime invite those here and we can have the picture taken.
Yeah, like a nice recognition ceremony. Yes. They can invite their families and I think that's a great idea. So maybe what we could do is kind of have maybe a special meeting to plan that. Then that way we can make it really nice. And
is council, are you okay with that? You agree with that? It's okay. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. Okay. For SPCA, very, very busy, lots of calls, not many complaints, which is great. There's not too much to say there. Some of the...
A lot of cats.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. A lot of cats. Yeah. It's a lot of cats, yeah. Yeah, a few dogs impounded, a lot of stray cats, but they're definitely very, very busy, so we definitely have to thank them for their hard work because it's nonstop in the report, as you guys can see, lots of activity. So any questions about the specifics on any of those reports? Okay. The one thing I did want to add that isn't on the actual agenda, with permission from the clerk, I think we need to have a discussion, a conversation about having more police presence at our meetings. What took place here on December 16th, I think, is terrible, and it definitely can't happen again. We did request to have police presence at that meeting. I did see an RCMP patrol car in town, so I'm not saying that they weren't actually in town, but I think we would all agree, or I guess I'm just speaking for myself here, but we can't have a repeat of what happened in December at another meeting. And I think that when we know that we have topics that are being covered, that people are going to have a lot of emotions attached to it, a lot of frustrations attached to it, I think that we need to do our due diligence to be better prepared, because we can't let that happen again, because there was a huge crowd, there was a lot of people that were feeling like they were intimidated, they were feeling like they weren't safe to come into their town hall. And although we only have so much control over what happens outside of the building, I still think that we're the counselors of Heron Bay, so it's our responsibility to do whatever we can to make people feel safe. And when we have residents saying, I didn't feel safe to come into town hall, I didn't feel safe to get out of my car, to get in line to come into town hall, I didn't feel safe to stand in the line to come into town hall, like, there's only so much that we can do, but we need to find out what it is that we can do, because I feel like it is in part our responsibility. So I don't know what everyone's thoughts are, but I certainly don't want a repeat of that. And I think the first step is to speak to the RCMP. I don't know if we want to get them in for a meeting to see what they can do. I know that they're stretched super thin, so that's difficult, because if they even say, okay, yes, I can be there on the February 18th meeting, we know there's only so many men. So if they're getting called to a domestic dispute or something that, you know, is triaged, you know, and it's considered a higher importance at that time, I get that. But at the same time, I almost think that we should have them in, have a conversation with them, let them know what is the reality, paint a picture of what happened at that meeting, and let them know that this potentially could happen again, and just have a discussion with them. What can we do? So, and just saying, yes, there was a patrol car driving around Dalhousie, that's not enough. Like, that's absolutely not enough.
I remember years before we used to have an officer here at every meeting in Charlotte and Dalhousie too, long time ago. But it would be nice to have that again. Maybe the clerk can contact them and ask them if it would be possible. Ken, you had a question?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. I concur with Councillor Pelche's statements that just took place. I, for one, was actually out of the country at the time, and I felt absolutely appalled at what took place. I wasn't here to witness it, but I've seen numerous videos. I've had numerous discussions with residents since that took place on December 16th, and I was shocked could not believe how this town allowed this to happen in front of our building. I feel it was a dark day in the history of the town of Heron Bay. The ability we as councillors allowed this to happen. I take responsibility for it, and I'll sit here and say to the residents, I'm sorry. That should never have happened. To have people be intimidated. This council and these chambers are supposed to be the ability, people are supposed to feel safe, secure, comfortable, and be able to feel that they can voice their opinions completely and not be intimidated. And on that day, nothing like that happened. So moving forward, I don't ever want to see that happen again at this town. I'm not sure if it ever will, but we need to be much more prepared. I'm still sickening by what happened. I felt so embarrassed. I felt embarrassed to be a counselor and allowing that to happen, even though I was not here. I was out of the country. But that's not the response. That's no excuse. Okay. So let me finish, please, Mr. Mayor. In my opinion, as what Councillor Pelche said, we need to come up with much better ideas, much better game plan for in the case of something like this may come up, then we need to be prepared. I don't ever want to see that happen again. Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah.
Wait. Whatever happened last meeting, I disagree that we are responsible for the actions of citizens. Not directly. Okay, we can take measures to be safe. I agree. We should have the RCMP actually come to our meetings like we had before.
Mhm.
That would be nice.
Yep.
And then at least let them know that there's a meeting coming up. And we all know that a meeting could be controversial. We all know that.
Yep.
So then we should really take measures to make everybody feel safe. Moi, je pense que c'est pas sous notre contrôle de contrôler les sentiments des gens. On peut pas faire ça. On a vu d'autres dans le Beau Séjour, on a vu d'autres à Bellevue.
Tracadie.
C'est Tracadie. C'est des choses qu'on hors de notre contrôle, direct. Mais en tout cas.
Yeah, go ahead. Vincent.
Ça veut pas dire qu'il faut avoir de la protection. Là. Tu sais, là, on s'entend bien. Là.
So I agree with some of what Councillor Hache said. Obviously we can't control other people's actions. I teach this every day as a teacher. I've had multiple conversations just today. You can't control how other people act. However, we knew that this was going to be a tense meeting. We knew that this was going to be controversial. We knew that it was high emotions. We knew that people were upset, which is why I purposely sent the emails and asked the CAO, can we please ensure that we have police presence? Because we would be naive to have said this was going to go perfectly well and everything was going to be great. So we knew this. So obviously, no, we can't. You're right. We can't control people's actions. However, when we know that there's a very big possibility that we are going to have high, tension, it's, and at this point, to be completely honest, right now, with everything that has gone on, citizens now are feeling like they do want their voices heard. So I don't think that we're going to have meetings anymore where we have an empty room. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's a great thing that people are coming out. Hopefully it's not always going to be because people are, coming out for a controversial issue. However, I believe that now we are going to have meetings that the town hall has a big crowd. So regardless, I think it would be proactive. Like you both said, if RCMP used to come to the meetings before, I mean, this is my second term. I might have seen an RCMP officer in this building maybe two times, maybe once. And maybe actually, and one of them was just for a presentation. So I'm not sure. So who would make that contact? Would it be, okay, so perfect. So you're going to contact RCMP to see if, good. And I mean, obviously we know it's a triage. If they're going to be busy with something else, like we need to be reasonable too. Like we need to be realistic here. However, at the same time, I really feel like we need to do our due diligence and we definitely need to be more proactive and then not have a meeting like that and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Because at that meeting, we all were saying it, just like this was a mess. So we need to make sure that we're better prepared.
Sometimes, though, but when like Jean-Robert said, we know when there's a hot topic, and we did add a security guard inside, and the police was informed. But sometimes we don't see them, but they're around. They got ghost car. They goes around. We don't really see them, but they're there.
Yeah, with all due respect, though, I disagree with that. In this case, we specifically asked for them to be present. And I mean, I seen the car myself. Like when my husband dropped me off at the meeting, I seen an RCMP vehicle, but that was clearly not enough because if they would have been around and seen what was going on outside, then they would have had no choice but to do their due diligence and step in. So all we can do is learn from it. Yep. I mean, I wish that it wouldn't have happened. I mean, it's like Ken said, like I apologize that this happened. I feel like it is our responsibility as counselors because we knew that this was going to be a high emotion night, and I don't feel like we did our best to be proactive. So we all we can do is learn from our mistakes. Speaking for myself, I feel like it was a mistake on our part, and we need to learn from it.
You're right.
Yeah.
So you're okay that Lillian will make the contact and see if we can have at least come around at the meeting. if he can come to the meeting, that would be great,
Yeah.
or at least come around in the entrance. You're okay with that?
Yeah, and I think that's the end of, I believe so, Mr.
Yep. Okay.
Deputy Mayor. Are we good
Thank
for
you,
protective services?
Lisa. Community development, Louis?
All right, call to order. Call to order and approval of the presented adoption of minutes. Items of business, Restigouche Regional Service Commission monthly report, airport report, new business, request to eliminate temporary roundabout in Bellevue subdivision, nomination of members of PRAC committee. For the Charlotte Regional Airport, January 2025. Air traffic for the month of January 2025 was 80 arrivals and departures, a decrease of 2% compared to last year. The total number of air ambulances for the month of January was 7. The total number of air ambulance for New Brunswick is 6, and none for Quebec and 1 for IWK. The total number of air ambulances for 2024 year is 158. That's a lot, yes. Critical to have the air ambulance. For New Brunswick and Quebec, 33 and 1 IWK. Charter flights. Chrono Aviation is flying every week, Tuesdays, and PAL Airlines is every 2 weeks for the mines workers in Wabush. In terminal ads, I am awaiting response from the City of Campbellton and the Port of Beldoon, their interest in their renewal. I also contacted Black and McDonald because they did not have the budget for last year's renewal, but requested that I send a request early in January. That's for the sign inside, yep. Honorable Gilles Lepage, Minister, RDC, and Mr. Guy Arsenault, MLA Restigouche East, have agreed to have the ad in the terminal. Heron Bay is there, yes. Search and rescue training, the Canadian Coast Guard was in for 2 fuel stops in 1 day. The second fuel stop was the cruise noticed for mechanical issues. The stayed overnight, stayed in Campbellton. 2 mechanics drove Nova Scotia to fix the helicopter early in the morning. The Hercules plane was also in the same training and the same day. After their training, they went to launch for the Moulin Café for lunch. Fuel was also purchased from them. Flight school. The Fredericton Flight Schools contacted the Chinese, has not been renewed. The airport was concerned that there would affect the fuel sales, but the Moncton Fly School frequently fly in. Flight school movements for the month of January were 4 last year and 12 this year. Bon, janvier 2025. Le trafic aérien pour le mois de janvier 2025 était 80 arrivées et départs. Une diminution de 2% par rapport de l'année dernière. Le nombre total d'ambulances références pour le mois de janvier était 7. Le total d'ambulances aériennes pour le Nouveau-Brunswick, c'était 6. 0 pour le Québec, 1 pour le IWK. Le nombre total d'ambulances aériennes pour l'année 2024 était 158. Nouveau-Brunswick. 124 Québec, 33 IWK. Chronico Aviation avait toutes les semaines de PAL Airlines, toutes les 2 semaines pour les travailleurs de la mine de Wabush. Annonce dans les terminaux. J'attends les réponses de la ville de Campbellton et le port de Belledune pour les recouvrements de leur publicité.
J'ai engagé, contacté Black et McDonald pour qu'elle parle le budget pour le révélement de l'année dernière. Mais les mots de demande, l'envoi est demandé de député du mois de janvier. L'honorable Gilles Lepage, ministre de la SDR, et Guy Arsenault, député provincial pour le Restigouche-Est, ont accepté pour placer un panneau de publicité dans le terminal. Interne leur recherche et de sauvetage, la garde croisière canadienne en effet 2 arrêts pour une journée. Lors des deuxièmes arrêts, l'équipage continue pour les programmes mécaniques. Ils ont passé la nuit à Hamilton. Les 2 mécaniciens sont venus de Nouvelle-Écosse pour réparer l'hélicoptère le matin. Le même jour, l'ancien Hercules est venu pour un exercice, ouais, c'est ça. Après laminé, ils sont arrivés dîner au Moulin Café. École de vol. Les contrats de l'école de vol de Fredericton avec les Chinois n'ont pas été redoublés. L'aéroport craignant que cette nuit va vendre des coubarants. Mais l'école de pilotage de Moncton serait franchement à l'aéroport. Les mouvements de l'aéroport du pilotage pour le mois de janvier étaient 4 l'année, puis 12 cette année. Restigouche Regional Service Commission, Planning, Review, and Advisory Committee. The Restigouche Regional Service Commission, RSC, is soliciting its partners to determine and assign members of the Restigouche RCC Planning Review and Advisory Committee, PRAC. As such, we are circulating this document as a means of facilitating the nomination process. 2 members are to be named, one with a term ending on December 31st, 2026, and the second with a term ending December 31st, 2028. The appointment should be in the direction of council and made official at the next available council meeting. Please do forward a copy of the official motion to the Director of Planning Services, RSC. This made official by the motion of council and the second member. It's the made official. So here, if we go in French, la Commission du Service Régionaux, le CSR du Restigouche sollicité les partenaires pour déterminer un nombre de membres de comité conseil et en maître Hubernet de la CSR de Restigouche. Avec ce but, nous distribuons ce document afin de féliciter les processus de nomination. 2 membres devraient être nommés, l'un dans le montant de la semaine de termine le 31 décembre 2026 et le second, donc le marchand de terminer le 31 décembre 2028. Les ambitions devraient être à la direction du Conseil et rendues officiellement lors de la prochaine réunion du Conseil disponible. Veniment 30 une copie de la motion officielle au directeur du service du CSR.
So they're gonna send us the name, and we're gonna, if we're okay, we agree, we'll put it in our motion.
Put it in the motion, yeah, that's right.
Right, did you talk about the subdivision?
Yeah,
I have a question pertaining to that.
to the subdivision,
No, prior to the
prior to that?
statement that you just made.
Yes?
Inside.
What do you want? Yeah, go ahead.
It says here that they're asking for names to be submitted for these two appointments.
Right.
However, if you move further down in the correspondence,
Yes.
it says that was sent from our clerk on January 21st, 2025. It says that we have appointed. The Municipal Council of the Town of Huron Bay is pleased to inform you that Mr. Doug Peterson and Mr. Kenneth Savoy have been reappointed as municipal representative of the Planning Review and Adjustment Committee, PRAC Board. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
That's an example.
They're the two existing.
So my question to you, Madam Clerk, is have we reappointed these and when did council approve it? Because we haven't had a council meeting since December. We did not have a council meeting in December or January, and then this is February. So I know Mr. Doug Peterson. He's a wonderful representative,
Yeah.
and I understand. I appreciate that. I think it's great, but I just want to know, when did we approve this? When was it on the council meeting? I'm curious. I don't know. I've never seen it.
It was never approved. I just finished saying that this was an example letter because those are the two existing representatives
So
that
they-
are there
these-
right now.
But it says here they being reappointed. So have they
It's
been
an
or is this
example
from,
letter.
this is an example letter from
Yeah.
past?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
great. And then now because it's just confusing the way it's worded. Anyways, I'm just saying, so there we have not approved these two representatives as of yet. Okay, well, thank you very much.
See,
Thank you for clarifying that.
Speaking of the two candidates,
Mm.
in the letter it says, I'm a little bit confused here, okay? It says here, we are confident that Mr. Peterson will represent, but they don't mention Mr. Kenneth Savoy,
Yeah, that's another thing I was gonna bring up too.
you know?
But it was just, I read it and I said, did I miss that part when council approved these names? I don't know. So that's why I just asked that question. So now I got the clarification. It's great. Thank you so much for answering that.
So I assume that this was here as an example, and now at our public meeting, that's when we're gonna make the motion.
The agenda on Friday, and I said if you have any questions, please contact me before so I can clarify. You did not send me no questions.
Well, I didn't have the opportunity to look at this until just now.
So then, Madam Clerk, just to, so I understand, so we're following through the steps that Counselor Walsh explained
Right.
to have the first and second member put in official by motion of council. Those motions will be made on the 15th, excuse me,
18th.
Family Day
18th.
17th, 18th. So on the 18th, I'm assuming Counselor Walsh will make a motion for these two, so for Mr. Doug Peterson and for Mr. Kenneth Savoy to be appointed.
Appointed.
That will be if they provided us those names. If the-
Yeah,
the
If
Regional
they-
Service
they
Committee.
accept.
So the Regional Service has to give us the names for
Right.
us to approve.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
And that'll be done before the 18th. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Then we go into building report.
Back up.
Oh, am I ahead of my
About the
game here?
roundabouts.
Or
We passed.
roundabouts? Okay,
Back up.
I got to.
Keep going down. Keep going.
Oh, right here. Got a roundabout. You see the map? Yeah. Where the map is there? That's Bellevue. Yeah, that's the one right there. That
So which one is it that they wanna?
Bellevue. Yeah.
The way it used to be the street was ending there.
They won't hear you on the.
You know, on the plane, you see before the street was ending there, so you need a roundabout. You need that. But now the street is done, so you don't need that anymore. So the contractor, they just want to take it out because he's losing land on land that he could rent or he could sell for houses and that. So it just makes sense. And I think there's two, Lillian.
Yes, there's two.
Okay.
There's two.
There's two.
Okay. So if the council are okay with that, we'll have to bring that to the meeting in the 18th. So it's going to be on a meeting to to advise the commission that we're accepting to take it up. Wouldn't think.
No. Yep. Please find enclosed that the billing report for the summary of building permits issued for the month of November 2024. For more information, you should have the questions regarding the development of the municipality. Do not hesitate to contact me. Right here, Heron Bay, there were 5 building permits were issued for the period of an estimated value of $757,000. 1 issued for construction of a single-family dwelling, 1 issued for an addition to a multi-family dwelling, and 1 issued for addition to commercial use, 2 issued for renovation of commercial use.
That's, can I question that?
Sure.
The same address,
Yes,
same description,
yes,
twice, 180,000.
yeah,
That doesn't jive there,
Well-
because if you add it up,
yeah.
the amount at the end is
700 and,
57,000.
yes,
But how come the 180 is twice for the same
for the
renovations?
same renovation,
the
that could have
same
been
address.
two
And
different numbers.
But
Yeah,
but then if
Yeah.
we go ahead,
right,
you know, and you go to January,
yes,
that same description is once,
Right.
same address for 195.
okay.
So there's something
Yeah,
here that
there's a-
doesn't jive.
the same bid number
The same page.
Same PID number, yeah.
So
yeah.
why 180? Then in January it jumps up to
That'd be,
195.
that'd be a question to,
to.
yeah, we'll look into that one. We'll check with the planning
Okay.
commission on that.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's pretty well covers.
I have a
Yeah.
question, and I
Sure.
believe it's something to add. I'm not sure if this would be added to this agenda, so let me know if it's not. The cadet visit, I'm assuming this would be under community, Madam Clerk, is that correct? So,
Yep.
sorry about that. So I had seen that we were forwarded an email from Elena
Noel?
Noel,
Yep.
from the cadets. So they are, the only reason why I'm speaking on it is because I ran into Elena. So if you
Yes.
don't mind.
No, no,
Okay.
no, you go right ahead.
So I ran into Elena at the Marauders game, and we were just chatting about it. And essentially, what she's looking for is she really wants to do more community outreach with the cadets rather than just having them
Right.
at the school and doing, all the great things they do at the school. Not to take away from that, but she wants to do more community outreach. So what she kind of envisions is to come to town hall to be able to kind of see, the mayor, the councilors, the clerk, the CAO, just to kind of see how everything works. And at the same time to hopefully have kind of a lesson on, local government, like how a municipal election takes place, like the preparation, like the voting process, that whole thing, because part of their, I don't think curriculum is the word, but I'm thinking curriculum is to kind of talk about like the voting process. So she said, why not do it here, right? Because obviously we were voted into this position. So I said, I can't speak for everyone, but I know just from the emails that everybody seemed to be interested. And I let her know that I wouldn't mind kind of planning like a little lesson, I guess, with everybody on board, of course, just to kind of, the role of the mayor, the role of a councillor, the role of the clerk, the CAO, how the election process works. Well, she's quite open. So she was just hoping that if we, number one, I guess, decide if we're game. Cadets is on Thursday evening, so she was hoping to have it on a Thursday evening because that's when they already do meet. So really, she said she's quite open. So if we can give her a couple dates, then we can kind of go back and forth from there. And then her and I can kind of, everybody who's wanting to help plan it can kind of sit down and see how that can look. So. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, so right now we're what are we? We're the 10th.
Maybe on a Thursday though, she could see the operation of the municipality or the hall.
Well, it would be in the evening because they're
Okay.
they're students, so it would have to be. It would either have to be in the evening or on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have to be in the evening. So she was quite open. She was. I mean, they break for March break, so that wouldn't be an option. We would obviously need a little bit of time to prep. So if you'd like, I can kind of, if we're all in agreement, I can let her know that we're interested and then see what dates work for her, and we can kind of just by email decide on a date.
Yeah.
Is there any Thursdays that do not work, just off the top of your heads? Kind of work backwards, I guess. Of March? Of April, okay. We could probably fit it in March. I mean, it's not, like, it wouldn't take a lot of preparation. It's quite a casual thing. Like, it's not, it's more just having a conversation, like, question and answer type thing for them to see the town hall. And so if we tried to do, I mean, we're almost out of February.
March 13 maybe?
Yeah, like if we tried after March break, March 13th, does that look?
Yeah. What happened the fourth Thursday? It's the Research Service Commission meeting.
So the 13th or the 20th?
So March 13th, what time?
The 20th is the
You want it at 7?
Cadets, I believe they start at 6. 6, yeah, thank you. So if we said 6?
Yeah.
March
6 on the
13th at 6?
That would be good for me.
Okay, so what I'll do is I can email and see if March 13th works for her, and then I can confirm with the mayor to see. And I mean, it's quite casual, but it'd be nice if we kind of had a little
Yeah.
snack for them and some, I was gonna say coffee, but maybe hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, white hot chocolate, it's delicious. And then like a little goodie bag with some Heron Bay swag. Okay, that's good. I think that'll be fun. That'll give them a night, because she really wants to have like community outreach. So this is a good example.
That'd be a good example.
Thank you, Lisa. I think it's a great idea.
Perfect.
Mr. Mayor,
I think I have one more.
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor, I have another item I would like to add to community development. It falls inside my portfolio under Public Works, but I believe that this line item should be followed under community development. It's called storefront beautification. Madam Clerk, would that fall under community development?
No, that falls under bylaws.
Under bylaws?
Under bylaws.
Storefront beautification?
Well, it's because it's under our bylaw that we enforce it.
Yeah, okay, we'll wait till the bylaws come up then. Thank you.
I think I have one more thing. I don't know, Lillian, if this would be under this. If not, I can speak on it later. Is it possible to have our committee meeting agenda posted for the public online prior to the meetings? Is that something that we can do?
I can only send it after I send it to councillors.
After that, is
And I
that
have till
possible?
Friday, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Send it to councillors.
Okay. So after it's sent to us, is it able to be posted online, and then that way people can see what the what's being discussed, and then they can decide whether they'd like to attend or if they'd like to tune in online?
It was on, but I think she had a problem with it because she told me this
Mm.
morning that she had a problem with it.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that it was usually even posted.
The link was there. but
Okay.
then she said somebody called her to tell her that it wasn't working.
Oh, okay. Okay. Perfect. And then that way people can decide if it's a topic that they want to be here for, or if they want to tune in, or. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. I think that's it.
You lost the agenda.
That's it, Lisa?
I think so.
Okay.
For now.
Okay.
For this agenda.
So we'll move on to finance with Councillor Good.
Approval of the agenda, the adoption items, and treasurer's report, we don't have it. New business, donations requests for the Tree of Hope is fundraiser in Moncton, New Brunswick. You have read everything, and what did you guys want to do on that? I was thinking of, we didn't get the letter of donation from the Resigosh Tree of Hope.
That's what we usually do is
We
give
usually
it to
give
the
to the
Resigosh,
Resigosh,
yeah. So
So-
we can maybe contact the person in charge and they'll send us an official request for that.
Okay.
Usually it's at the end of the year, but it's year round, really.
Yeah, but she collects money like all year round,
Yeah.
so. I don't
If-
remember when we got it last year, but anyway, I can check with her and we'll get back to
Do
you.
you all agree with that? Sure. Yeah, okay.
Territorial land acknowledgement, Lisa, Councilor Lisa, would you like to talk about that?
Yes, thank you. We kind of discussed it a little bit casually, but I think it's on here. I believe I found it. Yeah, I think it's definitely important. I don't believe anybody would disagree, but if you do disagree, you could certainly share your thoughts here tonight. But I think it would be important that moving forward for all of our meetings to have a territorial acknowledgement. I have. Did I pass it, Ken? I wrote one with the help of an elder from Illever that we share at the Marauders games. So I thought, oh, there it is. So I thought that this one, yeah, I found it. Thank you.
Do you want to read it?
I can, yeah. It's simple, but it's meaningful, and I think it's covers the important things that we should say. But I'm definitely open to hearing other ideas. I mean, there's so many different examples out there, long ones, very short. But this one I feel is covers everything. So we would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we live is the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. The mayor, council, and staff of Heron Bay acknowledge and pay respect to the elders and descendants, past and present, of this land. We welcome you all today as we strive to develop closer relationships with the Indigenous people in our community. So that's the one that we. That's the one that we read in French and in English at the Marauders games. So, how do we feel about this one?
Yeah, I find
I
it's very
totally
good.
agree.
Perfect. So, I don't think we need to make. Do we need to make a motion, Madam Clerk, at our next week? And okay, so yeah, so I think we should start doing that at every meeting, so we can just take turns, even. Yeah, at every public meeting, and we can just take turns reading it, I guess.
And have it translated in French.
Yeah, well, we do. Yeah, you have the French one, right? Can you forward that if you don't mind, Jean-Abel, the French one?
So the one you adapted in English?
Yeah.
Send it to me
Okay,
so I can adapt it to the.
beautiful. Okay, that's what I'll do. Good. Yeah, so that's, I think,
You have a question?
Yeah, I think that we shouldn't just do public meetings. Since general committee meeting, we now have residents that obtain all these meetings. I think we should be doing it to both meetings. I can't
that's
see it.
what-
I think, he said just public meetings.
Oh.
I would like to rephrase that so then we can pass a motion on the 18th that we can then do it at all future meetings, public and or committee meetings. Thank you.
I don't think we need a motion though, eh?
No.
Madam Clerk?
Yep.
No, so yeah, it's just moving forward basically anytime we're gathering at town hall for a meeting where there are public there, then we'll read it. And we could even, it might be an idea too to kind of have, I've seen some
A card?
rooms, like a kind of like a plaque, like to kind of have it on the wall.
Mhm.
So we can kind of make what's the word? It's not a plaque, but yeah, a plaque. Poster. Either way. Yeah, like just like a nice display there, kind of like the one there at the Vision and Mission, kind of with that.
Yeah. Good
We
idea.
can kind of design. You're really good at that, Jean-Abel. Like design, something nice, like to show like the Ilver Bar maybe flag on it, or anyway, we can get to that there. We could start with the.
If we were to make a kind of a poster,
Mhm.
maybe we should have also a Mi'kmaq,
Yeah.
like, English,
three languages.
Oh yes.
French, English, and Mi'kmaq on the poster.
Yeah, good idea. So we can have someone.
Read it, but
No. Yeah. Okay, good. That's all for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Cynthia?
Request to purchase a table for the second Restigouche Breakfast Foundation banquet. I suggest that we have 2 tables of 8. It's on the 26th of April,
It's a very
And
good cause. Therefore.
and it's $600 a table.
We went last year, right?
Yes.
Yes.
2 tables, that would
Yeah.
be 16 people.
8 people at table, you said?
Yeah. 8 people per table.
What's the date again, Cynthia?
Plus one.
Mm-hmm. The 26th of April.
April.
It's going to be at the community center in Balmoral.
So we can put that on the agenda for next meeting, Lilian? Okay. 12.
Well, yes, it's.
Seven members.
So do you guys agree, or?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it will.
Yeah, that's
Lilian will put it on the
April 26th, you said, right?
Yeah.
next meeting, public meeting.
That's Balmoral.
No, that's Civic Center,
Civic Center.
Oh, it's Civic Center.
right?
No, this one here is in Balmoral.
Balmoral.
Wasn't it last year at the breakfast? Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I know we were there last year.
Yeah.
Remember.
Last year was at Civic Center.
Yeah, but this year they're doing it at the community center in Balmoral. Then there is a donation request from the Restigouche Timber Trails for the annual drag race. And
I know we did give money last year. I can't remember how much though.
Is there a note of what we gave last year?
I don't remember what we gave last year because I know we gave to the VTT club, but I don't remember giving to.
It
The
seemed to me it
Restigouche
was
Timber
like
Trail.
$200, but I'm not sure.
Well, it says here 22.
They're saying 250,
says here
350, or
250, yeah.
500. So, what would you guys like to?
I think 250 would be good because it draw a lot of people around here and it's good for tourism also.
So everyone agrees on 250.
Okay, so we'll be put on the agenda too.
Canada Post support resolution request. So, do you guys agree to
Did
doing
you,
a support letter?
Read it all. It's we do have a post office here in Dalhousie and one in Charlotte. We need to support.
Oh,
for
yes,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah, but it's the way I see in the letter is like the province want to make a change in the law that could affect the employees, and they want the municipality to support that the employee.
Well, we definitely should support them.
yeah. What do you think?
Yes.
Ils demandent pas d'argent, là, c'est juste-
No, it's just a support from each
Right.
municipality.
Yeah.
A letter of support.
There's actually three post offices affect Heron Bay. There's the one in Nash Creek
That's
delivers
right. Okay.
downs to our town to
Creek
mine.
is not in Heron Bay.
I didn't say that. I said they deliver into Heron Bay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's is your thought that we go with supporting that
Yes.
that, or we just send a letter of support? It's up to you guys.
I don't think
They don't
Is that what
asking
they're looking
for
for?
money.
For a letter of
No, they're not
support?
asking for any
Just-
money.
Yeah.
just a letter of support. I
A
don't
letter
think they're
of
asking for
support,
any
yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
What,
asking for a resolution.
the resolution is there,
Resolution.
Okay.
That we support the cause.
Yes.
and send the that resolution to the minister. If I read it right there.
I was confused by this, to be completely honest. I had to read it a couple times. I couldn't really understand what they were asking.
Well, it was confusing and long to read.
The English one, it was the French one I had trouble with.
Public questions after meeting. So we're all agree to that.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Public questions after meetings directed to councillor in charge of committees as requested by Councillor Chatrin.
Thank you. Okay, this is basically, if you want to read, I'm going to read the I don't know if I have to read the correspondence to you guys, what I sent you all, but this is a very contentious issue that's been going on for a very long time. And I just, you know what, I think this is where I said, yeah, okay. What I wrote to you, to my peers here, I wrote history. The town of Heron Bay, at the end of all public meetings, adjourns the meeting, then opens the floor to questions. As in the past, all questions have been answered by the mayor. As such, I would like to request the discussion of the following changes to the process. Changes to the process. Be it that all future questions that are asked to be directed directly to the sitting councillor that is responsible for the portfolio that fall within the parameters of the question. Also, I recommend that the residents state their name and location that they live within this town of Heron Bay. If the particular question cannot be answered, then the counselor will be responsible to answer such question within a reasonable time back to the resident. In the event that the question is directly asked to the mayor, then he shall respond. I also request that the live feed for all future public meetings is not turned off until such time all questions from the floor have been answered. Also, it was brought to my attention today, and I'm sorry I could not get this to you, but it was a suggestion that was brought to me by a resident that all future questions that are brought forward to this council, that the resident will rise, go to the podium, and answer their question, because then they can be heard and be more and recorded. Because a lot of times questions are asked from the seats in the council, in the house, and one, either we do not hear them, and or two, if a person's on live feed, they're looking at us, but they cannot see the resident that asked the question. So I think it's imperative that we, if the resident wants to take the time to come to the council chambers and ask a specific question, then I feel that they should come to the podium and ask it directly to that way. So I'm leaving, open up the floor to thoughts to my peers on this recommendation.
Me, I'm okay with that. Question gonna be directed to the counselor that have that portfolio and he can answer. Like he said, if you don't have the answer, you can always get it back to the person.
Yeah.
That's a comment. That's good. But as you know, though, the question period is only on a regular meeting. There's no question period on committee meetings.
Yeah.
Only at
At
a public meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any other thought on that, or are you okay with that?
No, I'm fine.
Fine.
fine with
Jonathan, good.
It's a good idea.
So there was two parts to that though. So the first part was addressing the counselor
Mm-hmm.
who has that portfolio, but then the second part was continuing with the live feed for those questions. Because right now we're
Yeah.
turning off the live feed as soon as the meeting is adjourned.
Mhm.
So that would have to go along with what Councillor Chartrand is suggesting. The live feed would only turn off after the question period is finished.
Yeah.
Is that, am I understanding?
I'm good with that too. There.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so basically, as it stands right now, once the meeting's adjourned, the clerk, right now, I spoke to the clerk, it's her response, you turn off the live feed, am I correct? So if we approve that the live feed continue on, then the clerk will assign somebody that
Yeah.
has the ability, I would assume, to be able to go after the last question that take place. Maybe it would be the deputy mayor. Anybody, I guess, really, whoever she decides to take on that process.
Yeah.
So there's three parts to it then, sorry. So basically, we're all in favor of changing the question periods now. So now, when a resident comes up, they ask that specific question to the counselor of their portfolio. And if they do not know the portfolio based on the question, then I would assume then the question will be asked to the mayor, and the mayor will then forward the question directly
Will
to
address
the counselor.
yeah.
If they do know who the counselor is, then I guess they can follow it, or straight to the counselor. That's step one. 2, the live feed, and 3, the residents will be responsible to them coming to the podium and ask their question directly. So then we have, it's easier to answer a resident when they're right there instead of trying to talk to them across the
That's
floor. So are we all in favor, all three parts?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
the recording is going on, all
Yeah.
you need is somebody to shut it off.
Shut up. Yeah.
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 That's all.
It's just a button.
It's just a button.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay,
Okay.
very simple.
Very simple. Okay.
All right.
Madame la greffière, ça va-tu prendre une motion pour ça à la réunion? Pas besoin. Okay. So it's gonna be the next meeting. We can start.
Yeah,
doing
we
that.
can start.
Yeah.
Right on. Cynthia,
Thank
veux-tu
you.
d'autres choses?
Yes, I'm not finished. Staff meeting for LED meeting we're preparing. The two clerks are not going to be here. They're not going to be present for the April meeting. So we have to figure out if we're going to cancel the meeting in April.
Or have
Committee or?
The
The
meeting
staff.
has to be canceled, there's no clerk.
There's no
Yeah,
clause
that's
of
true.
meetings.
That's
We
why-
have to cancel the meeting.
That's why this says staff-led meeting, so if you guys wanna meet with the staff, like Pascal,
Mhm.
Kevin, and just for them to give them a report and answer your questions.
Oh, okay.
Also, me and you, Cynthia, we won't be here too.
Yeah.
Is this for the, are you talking about the committee meeting or public meeting?
Both.
Both committee and public for April?
Yeah.
Need, okay, so now we need to make a motion to cancel it, right?
We'll make it in March,
Okay, perfect.
just in case that
Something
something happens and one of them can make it.
Yeah, okay.
d'autres choses, Cynthia?
Did you want me to talk about this now or wait till Jean Robert?
Maybe at John about committee, yeah.
No,
Okay.
franchement.
Well, it's part of your.
I know, it's part of the Parks and Rec.
Okay, well,
You want me to introduce you?
So that's it for.
no, that's it for now.
Okay,
All done.
so we'll go on with Parks and Recreation with Jean Robert, Councillor Jean Robert.
Ok, ça, bon. Veux-tu le faire à la fin, mais que j'ai fini ou que, ok? Okay, so you have the reports from Monday, February 10th, but you also have November, Décembre, et Janvier. You had a chance to read all this? Okay, what I'd like to do is underline the, wait, there's one. In November, au mois de novembre, we have been approved for a grant for the Regional Resiliency Program for a training partnership with the Civic Center for Life Guide certifications. That was announced, ça s'était annoncé au mois de novembre. Là, j'ai parlé avec M. Pascal Saunier, puis il m'a dit que ça a été accepté. So the training is going to start sometimes in March.
Okay.
So this is a good news here that we have a cooperation with the Scientific. It'll assure us, let's say, better supervision of the pools.
Right.
Okay. Everything is going very well. There are a lot of new activities, like the indoor triathlon, what I wanted to say is that the Bonnery Festival this year will be changing a bit in format.
Yes.
It's not going to be as long, but it's going to be organized differently. Like the Little Miss Bonamy is going to be a little bit before, right? If I understand correctly. Both on. That's right. So there's a different format, and I think because of the volunteers, you know, it's not going to be as hard on volunteers. So les bénévoles, on sait que c'est un gros travail. À part de ça, that's about it.
Pickleball is going very good.
Well, pickleball, it's amazing. Over 200 members signed up.
Yeah.
And they did when I was talking about volunteers a while ago, when they did the renovations inside the curling rink, I mean renovations there, I mean they took off cement lips there, and they redone the floor on both sides.
Very good job.
They started that with 25 volunteers. It was just like a ant colony. C'était pas like they fourmis ça marche, and in record time it was done. And now they're going to have a brand new floor covering this, which is a professional or according to pickleball regulations. Ça va être vraiment un beau centre. So on est bien content. Okay, that's about it for the Parks and Rec, but now we have also a project which is commandeered by Cynthia, the MADA project. Maybe just explain what MADA means first of all. Là-dessus, tiens.
Qu'est-ce que c'est en anglais encore?
Municipalité.
Et c'est municipalité, communauté, amis des aînés. We're having. Qu'est-ce en anglais? The English is New Brunswick Age Friendly Community. So we're having a hard time to find people from our community join us, because I'm in charge of it, but I can't do everything by myself, so I need help. And we're having a hard time to find people, volunteers. You know yourself, everyone's getting older, and there's a lot of people that do volunteer already, and they're getting tired. And that's why we had a big problem with the Bonami this year. People are just getting tired of volunteering.
Same
and
thing everywhere.
It's always the
You talk
same
to
people that do
all the
everything.
organization, yeah.
And every organization's having a hard
Ah,
time. It's
same
not just
thing, yeah.
us. So we're doing a coffee meet on February 12th from 10 to 1, and I would love everyone to come and join us. And I am, a little project I've been working on for the elderly. They call it Frigo Med. I'm going to explain a little bit what it is. And I think everyone should have one of these, because even if we only save one life, it's one life saving. In an emergency situation, first responders may arrive at the scene where a person is unconscious or unable to communicate. The Frigo Med program is designed to assist them by providing quick access to essential medical information. Frigo Med consists of a personalized medical form that includes your medical history, a list of medications with dosages, and emergency contact details. By keeping this form in your refrigerator, you ensure that first responders can quickly find critical information about your health, such as ongoing treatments, recent surgeries, and known allergies. How does it work? The Frigo Med Kit includes 2 copies of the medical form to fill out, a square sticker to place on your front door, a magnet for your refrigerator, 2 stickers to label the envelope or bag containing your form. What do you do once you get the form? You fill it out. You can even ask the pharmacist to help you. To complete the form with all revealed medication information, review and update in every 6 months or whenever there are changes to your medical history. The forms are available at the Town Hall Bay website and at the Town Hall. Place the square sticker on your front door, which is everything is provided in the envelope, and you attach a magnet to your fridge. Then store the form in an envelope or a plastic bag, and place the completed forms in a sealed envelope or plastic bag provided by you. You may also include additional medical documents such as a copy of important medical test results and a do not resuscitate DNR directive if applicable. Secure the envelope bag to the fridge with the magnet or store it inside the fridge in a visible location. I have brought some. There's some over there if you guys want to check them out. I brought some with me so you can pick if you want, yes. So that is what we're working on right now with MADA. So if anyone wants to join, you're all welcome.
Thank you, Cynthia. It's a very good program. And the ambulance and fire department they know of that, so if they see the sticker, they'll look in the fridge for that information.
I have a question. So what is the age? So 55 and up.
55
You
and
can
up.
be a member of MADA.
MADA, yeah.
It's not really members, just getting community together and people talking
Okay.
and see like what needs they need, like what we can help the community. If there's elderly need, I don't know. It could be like shoveling your yard or
Okay.
shoveling your steps to help the elderly. Well, we can maybe work with the schools for them to go and organize
So
like
once you
there'll be a
have
class.
once you have a group formed of however many 55 and up residents, then you're going to meet. You're going to schedule times that you're going to have like meeting
Yes.
times together to have coffee and discuss
and
these
have
issues?
conversations and
Okay,
just what
so you
people
haven't
need.
had the first official meeting yet. You're still trying to gather your group.
We did, but we only have really 2 from the
Okay.
community.
Yeah.
So we need more.
So you're looking for 2 things. You're looking for more people to actually join
Yeah.
and for volunteers to
Well, it-
help once your group grows. I'm assuming.
And
Well,
also
it's-
publicity.
yeah.
Explain to people what is MADA.
Okay.
And if they have suggestion, because we have 2 golden age here in Dalhousie and one in Charlotte.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job. But MADA is sometimes to connect all the people together
Right.
and
Okay.
sometimes it's little thing.
Yeah,
not
like we
big
could
thing.
say, I don't know if they want yoga. Well, the Golden Age Club in Dalhousie does it, and Charlotte does it. Just things like that. So like we work together, so we're not all doing all the same thing.
And you, from 10 to 3, you'll get a free coffee, a donut, or a pretzel. So if you come there,
Oh no,
and, yeah,
10 to 1, Denny.
10 to 1, yeah.
It's free coffee, and I think it's muffin or donuts or something annoying.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're working with the hub with this.
Yeah.
So
So, thank you.
And it will be at the hub, the bay.
Thank you, Cynthia. Anything else? Jean-Robert, what?
Can I just finish? Okay. I wanted to also underline the citation or the nomination of the Hub de la Baie.
Yeah.
Friday, they had
Yeah.
the ouais, c'était l'entreprise de l'année.
Mhm.
Ce que je proposerais qu'on envoie une note de félicitations
De la part du conseil,
de la part du conseil. You know, we should send
bonne idée.
a thank you, not a thank you note, but a
Congratulations,
congratulations note.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
All right.
because they've been working very hard, and
Yeah.
it used to be only open in the summertime. Now it's open year round. They have all kind of new ideas.
Well, that's a good good you mentioned this, because this is the first year that our building is occupied for 12 months.
Yep.
And they're paying their rent and whatever, and so the building is being used.
Yep.
So that's really nice.
Could we invite them to our next meeting, our public meeting, and have a
Yeah.
a presentation to present them and invite their family and friends, just to kind of. I mean, I know they were recognized at the actual event, but it'd be nice to invite them to town hall.
Are you talking next week or the next month?
I'm thinking like our next public meeting, we could. Sorry. Okay.
Great idea, Councilor Fauci. Actually, after the gala, myself, Councilor Walsh, Councilor Cormier were there, and we did some photo bombing with them. Wonderful people, and actually, right there at that moment, I suggested that they should be coming to council, and they said thank you. It would be a wonderful idea, but one of the three is on a cruise on the 18th. On the 18th.
But there's
So
many- there's
so
many
I
other
she
meetings.
said the next month it would be terrific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the March
So she-
maybe. Yep.
Yeah. She
Okay.
said I said I'd love to have you in right away, but she says, well, I'm on a cruise, so I can't come. And I says, okay, well we'll schedule it for March then. But
Yeah.
it was a great night. They got some. It was a surprise. It was a new category. A new category, and it was just a really good feather in the cap for the town of.
May I
Huron Bay.
add something?
Yep.
It's a new category that the Chamber of Commerce, they did just for the Hub de la Baie. It's Emerging Business of the Year, and they did that just for them.
Just for them.
Yeah, so that's really a good,
well
good
deserved,
idea.
and we-
Yes, and
yeah.
as well
Oh,
deserved.
yeah. So we're okay with that, Jean-Robert? On va contacter la personne pour qu'elle nous envoie une demande, tu sais. Ouais. C'est parce qu'on a eu une demande de Moncton, mais on l'a pas eu de Restigouche. Oui, c'est ça. Je ne sais pas si c'est la même chose, je suis pas sûr. Oui, ouais. Ça, ouais, c'est ça. Mhm. Okay. So Liliane will check that. She'll let us know. That's it, Cynthia? Okay. So we're moving on to the bylaw committee with Lisa. Okay. Maybe sometime, Lisa, I don't know what's the next bylaw to work on, but I know there's a bylaw for outside fire. It's not.
I've been asking for.
Yeah.
I'm ready to work, so I'm asking the CAO and the
Okay.
mayor to let me know when they're ready to meet with me. I've put myself out there, so yeah, I'm
Just,
ready. I'm ready when they are.
There's one from Charlotte, one from Dalhousie, but just the idea to put them together, find the best one and put it together. Okay. Ken?
Yeah, at this time, I would like to bring up that. Thank you. I swear I can't figure this stupid thing out. I'd like to bring up the discussion I brought forward. It's in the Public Works, but as Madam Clerk says, it would fall under bylaws about storefront beautification. It's so, if you would mind, I would like to bring up the correspondence I sent. If I can find it. Just bear with me. Okay, thank you. I sent this to council members last week. It's regarding about storefront beautification. History is, as in the past, there's been numerous discussions regarding storefronts and how the owners have not taken the responsibility to beautify these locations when a resident and or when a resident or a tourist drives by in this area. It leaves a very sad feeling. My recommendation is that all owners be contacted and notified that they have no more than 60 days to make the necessary change to ensuring that the storefronts meet or exceed town's expectations. Now, I've had some discussions about that. Town's expectations, we really not sure how we could classify town expectation on this situation. However, myself personally, I drive by there a lot, and it's sad to see all those buildings sitting empty. Nothing's been done to them. There's nothing. And it's just over and over again, and I've had a lot of residents over the past couple of years. The people moved here or said, can we just clean it up a little bit? Now, I understand that the CAO has been in discussions with this owner or owners for a lot of times. And it's always been lip service. Yes, I'm going to clean it up. Yes, I'm going to do something about it. Yes, 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 yes. And to be honest with you, absolutely nothing has gotten done. It's really sad to see that situation. And there's only a few buildings. There's like 3 that I can think of right now so my recommendation and my suggestion is to this council, and it falls under bylaw, is that the owners do not want to take the time or spend any kind of money to make modifications to their storefront. So I believe it's time that this council approves or puts in motion a bylaw to be written up in our town. I'm not sure how it's going to be worded. I'm not the expert on writing bylaws. However, I think that with our counselor for bylaw and the CAO, and maybe the clerk involved in this too, that we can come up with some sort of bylaw that's going to have some sort of teeth in it, that's going to be implemented in place, that's going to say, if you want to have a building in our town and you don't want to have it occupied, well, then you're going to have at least have a minimum standard of beautification to the front of the building. This bylaw hear me out, this bylaw will not affect the businesses that are in town right now that are working. They're spending a lot of money taking care of their storefronts. They put flowers out, some of them. Yeah. And we're not going after them at all. We want to have some sort of bylaw put in place that for the people that don't want to do anything, and I think it's time that we start we can create a bylaw that was going to have some sort of guidelines. I'm not sure how it would be written. We could work on it and prepare it, but I think we need to have some sort of bylaw to set some sort of guidelines to make sure that this doesn't happen, because it really is an eyesore. Let's be honest. And if we're trying to beautify our town, clean it up, well, here's a step in the right direction, in my opinion. So I'm going to open the floor.
Mr. Sortanayano, but we do have unsightly premises bylaw, and we do have a bylaw officer. So it's his job to go after those people if they don't follow the bylaw.
Yeah.
What's inside that bylaw?
Does
it say anything about storefronts?
I'm
Well,
not sure.
It's whatever's dangerous and
Yeah.
unsightly.
Unsightly.
Council accepted that bylaw last year.
Yeah.
It would cover any
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah. So we have an unsightly premises bylaw. But when it comes, let's say, to storefronts specifically, we could ask our bylaw officer. We could put that on the list for that person to follow up on that.
Yeah.
Like right now, we have unsightly premises that person is working on right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the other thing too is that there are 2 unoccupied businesses in town that one of them has changed hands, acquired by another new owner, and recently, and he's really putting it back as much as possible. He's going to renew the whole building. Actually, we have also a project of maybe a nice mural on his building, which he accepted. And then the other one is on the list for the bylaw officer. Pardon me? Oh, the province owns it. Okay, so there are steps that can be taken. I agree. I mean, it should be at least clean, but sometimes we don't have.
Sometimes just a visit of the bylaw officer
Yeah.
make a difference.
Yeah.
Start with that, and
Yeah.
and then you have to follow the law, the bylaw.
What is did his schedule change? What is the schedule now of the bylaw officer? She, I should say. Mhm. Okay, so it's,
And she has sent a letter to one of the properties that Councilor Chopin was mentioning.
Okay. Anything else on that subject? Okay. So Lisa, that's it for you for that.
yes.
Okay. So we'll move on to.
Sorry, I guess no. So just to confirm, I guess just to summarize. So will we then specifically ask her to do check-ins then on these buildings that Ken was mentioning? So she already did.
One she did, one was just sold 2 weeks
Okay.
ago, so he's working on it right now.
Okay.
And the other one, well, we were in discussion with the province.
Okay. So the ones that he's commenting on, she's okay.
Well, I'm not sure of all his, but the ones that Councilor Ashe mentioned,
Okay.
I only know of one of Councilor Chopin.
Okay.
The one that there's two that I see right now, I can come to my mind, is one as you come around the corner just past the Home Hardware is the building there. There's two front, it looks like it's two stores, but it's actually one owned by one person, correct?
Yep.
And then if you go down further, well, as you said, the new building is just, I wasn't aware of that until just now, that he's actually gonna change it and fix it up, which is great, because it needs to be done. It's been an eyesore for many years. And just after that, then you have that second building there. That, and is that the one owned by the province?
Owned by the province,
Exactly
yeah.
3 buildings
Yeah.
that we were talking about.
So that one is owned by the province, that particular building.
Seized by the province.
It was seized by the province. So they have any,
It's gonna be under a surplus list.
is it gonna be under a surplus list? Okay. So then that way, then maybe we can,
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
okay, so thank you. At least then we can maybe move forward on this because it has been a very contentious issue for many years. And hopefully the bylaw officer can
Yep.
make some headway on these buildings.
Yep.
Before the summer especially.
Okay. Anything else, Lisa? No. Good. Okay. We're moving on to public work. Councilor Chopin. Yep.
Okay. Approval of the agenda, adoption of the minutes, conflict of interest, business arising from the minutes, items of business, the Director of Public Works monthly reports, new business from myself regarding about the municipal dump, and there was also in there regarding about storefront beautification. I have copy of the November, December, and January's reports. So I don't believe I'm going to read them all because we'll be
We'll be here all night.
we will be here extended period of time, shall we say. However, I went through them and then I sent some questions directly to the CAO and to the Director of Public Works regarding about some of the items that came to my attention, and he got back to me with some really good answers, clarified some questions I had if you look in the maintenance part of the reports, there was like some of our vehicles were in 15, 16 times over the course of 3 months. And so, again, it was small stuff, but a lot of small stuff. As you all know, when a snowplow goes down the road, it takes a beating. And so there's always constantly little modifications to either the snow chute or the salt chute or the lift. Anyways, the long time is there was a great deal of things that are on the list. However, we managed to clear them up, and they're fine. So we got a good set of equipment, of course, and everybody loves our crews. Oh, they go out and do the snow removal on a yearly basis, on all the time. So there was I submitted my report to the clerk, but I spoke. I'm going to say for January, my report was I spoke to many residents in the town of Harry Bay regarding issues, taxes, snow removal, summer beautification of the Charlotte Beach site, low water pressure, various locations, garbage pickup in the summer months for cottage residents, future safety at public meetings, which we discussed earlier, the dump, and also I attended the Crime Stoppers meetings and was part of the Review Communities in Bloom webinar. So I'll touch base a little bit on the garbage pickup in the summer months, if curious about that. It was brought to my attention through a resident who lives, he has a cottage on Benjamin Portage Road North, which is down from where the park is. And he lives in Beldoon. However, that's his summer cottage. And he approached me because it's interesting that the province, because it's a non-designated road, the province only snow plows down to just past the park, past the first resident, and then leaves a big pile of snow right in the middle of the road. I mean, right in the middle of the road, not off to the side, not just right there. So he said to me, Ken, how can I get to my cottage if I ever want to go down there in the middle of winter? And I says, well, you're going to have to get a snowmobile. No. And he says, no. But it was really bad. So I did contact the province, and they did say that they're going to try to rectify the situation and have it so they can get by if they want to. And he also mentioned, which I found was really ironic, was that he's there for the whole summer months from May until November, and we've never picked up the garbage. And yet it's part of the system. The garbage is supposed to be picked up. Now they can't get down there because of the roadway, but I told him that we will work and arrange to have a location near the park, so the residents down there, because there is 8 separate cottages down there. Actually, there's 8 residents in total for the summer months. So
It's an alley, just an alley.
well, no, it's a laneway. It's a 60-foot, 66-foot right of way up to a certain part. And then it goes down to 40 feet, but it's still a fair. I'm sorry. Yeah. And so it is actually. So we made modifications to that. So now they're going to bring their garbage up to at least to the roadway to the park. We'll designate a spot location so they can bring their garbage and their recycling bins up in the summer months. But I just found it
How
quite.
long were they not having their garbage?
They've
picked
never
up?
had it picked up.
But have they never?
They've always
Let anyone
taken in
know?
the garbage. They've always taken it to their homes, or they've taken it to their brother's house or their sister's house or somebody, but they've never actually had it picked up.
I'm just curious though. Like, have they ever let anyone know so that we could look at rectifying it?
Now they have.
Okay. Okay.
Now they
I'm
have.
glad they have. I'm just curious if it's
Okay.
been so long.
Yeah, I was quite
Why
shocked
they
that
didn't let us
he
know.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So now we're part of the Aran Bay, and so now he actually has a counselor to bring these questions to. Anyways, it's resolved, but I just quite find it was quite interesting that it had never taken place. I asked him, has it ever been picked up? He said, nope. And I've had my cottage here for many, many years and never picked up. The beautification of the Charlotte Beach site, that is something that we need to look at. I had another resident call me, and she gave me a long list of items that she was, shall we say, very, she really wanted some changes made to the Charlotte Beach site regarding about where the picnic, on the one side where the sign is, the way the furniture's arranged, the flags, their flags were not put up last year. So she had a long list of them, and I'll provide them to you if you want, Councilor Hashi, because it was like, she says, like, it's a beautiful spot, so let's make sure that we keep it all cleaned up. So that's, but she had some real, legitimate reasons to bring that up. And the other stuff was just generic stuff that was on a day basis. The other item I want to bring up was, and I sent you all a question a statement that says, history about the dump. Now, at this particular time, there's only one sign at the dump, and it says no dumping. My recommendation was, now I sent this recommendation, but I had many discussions after that, so I want to change my recommendation. Be it that second sign be placed at the entrance stating that only leaves or small brush will be approved item for this location. All their materials not be accepted. However, after having discussions with the CAO, I found the history of the dump and how it's taken place, and that the dump, or our landfill site, you want to call it, dump's not really a nice word, our landfill site is actually for the municipality purpose only.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. To be honest, Public Works Chair and been here over 2 years, I was not aware of that. Reason why I sent this email was for, well, really a couple reasons why. A couple people asked me about it, but the one thing I noticed consistently when I came into town to get my coffee, when I came into town, every morning it seems that I drive by there and there would be a half a dozen or a dozen bags of garbage sitting right by the gate. So I'm saying, well, who's taking care of that garbage? We are. So therefore, then, my recommendation to this committee, and I hope you look into it or agree to it, is that we place a sign at the dump on the other side of the gates saying for the site to be used for the municipality only, or some sort of wording. Maybe that will alleviate some of those bags of garbage. I know somebody's going to continue doing it, and that's for sure. That's a given. But maybe it will stop a lot of that coming in, because it's really important that people need to understand that, because let's be honest, residents are moving in here every single day from everywhere, and we have a lot of new people in this community, and they see a dump site. You know what? I'm going to just take my garbage bags over there.
Usually there's a gate there and it's closed.
I know there's a gate there, but
sometimes you leave it open.
But okay, you leave it open, they may put it inside, or you leave it open, or if you don't leave it open, I drive by, as I said, I'll see a dozen bags of green garbage bags there, sitting there beside the sign. Anyways, I think that just putting a sign up there will eliminate at least a lot of the problem there for as far as that is concerned.
Probably will lessen.
It's going to help. It's going to help for sure. Yeah.
But people also put garbage bags full of leaves, because they don't want to walk with the bags way up to the dumping and just empty the bags. They don't do that. They just leave them there because the gates are there.
And
So-
we can't throw plastic in there. So
In the springtime, when our employees actually pick up all the leaves, and they take the leaves out of the bags, and they discard the bags and just leave the leaves there, or whatever brush there is. So, no, we can see what happens, and
Well, I open up to the floor.
Yeah.
The sign be,
Sign would be good.
members of council, would you be accepting to have a sign placed on the other side, just saying that this is for the municipal purpose only?
mhm,
And that will at least remove
yeah.
some of it.
Video of time that you were speaking.
Yeah, Lillian will inform the foreman and he'll take a look at it.
No, are we gonna agree to put a sign up? Is
Yeah,
what I'm asking.
to put up that sign,
Is
that's what I
everybody
mean.
in favor of that?
Sure.
Okay, well, that's good. Good thing.
We have some citizens who are entrepreneurs in town who do brush work.
Mhm.
They cut leaves and branches and they cut down trees. So now, maybe we could have a permission for the enterprises or the people who do their business.
Yeah.
You know, because
But-
then what they have to do, they have to go way back in Charlotte.
But
know?
sometime they're gonna ask here, call here
Yeah,
if they can.
Yeah, with a special
And,
permission.
It depends what they're
Yeah.
working with.
Yeah. We're still sticking to branches and leaves and, grass.
Right.
Mm.
But, having these people move out of town, well, it's right there.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe just an exception and like a special permit for them.
Yeah.
Careful on that because
No, yes.
some businesses do that, charge the resident for
Oh,
the dumping fee.
okay.
Okay, well, that
but
could,
they're not charged for it.
okay, well, that could be a condition that they should respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's tricky, cause then if we make an exception, it's sometimes opening up.
Well, I would
A
make
lot
it,
of
I
gray
wouldn't
area.
make an exception. I would make it case by case.
Yes, that's what I
You
say.
know?
Yeah.
So,
We know if they've charged the tipping fee or not to the resident.
well,
Good point. I get it.
word of honor.
I think, well, I understand that.
If they wanna charge, they can charge it, but they can go and pay LCLs.
That's right.
Broken go and
Yeah, I agree.
True.
I think right now, at this particular time, I think we're just,
Put a sign.
let's start with a sign.
Put the sign.
And we'll work our way forward on that. It is a good idea. We don't wanna, we don't wanna discourage local businesses from having to go to Charlotte to the LCL dump site. But however, it was a great point where if they are charging a tipping fee to the resident, well, then they're gonna be getting, that's like. Well, every other dump site I've ever known has a tipping fee. Everyone.
Tipping fee is the same as in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Well, they save the distance,
it's not a service for our residents.
yeah?
But then
not a
it's not a
service.
service for our residents.
Well, we're talking about just the.
You need a
entrepreneur.
special permit for that, like
Yeah.
Charlotte, they have a special permit.
I think that could be discussed at a further council meeting tonight. I think let's just work on the sign. And then we'll work from there and we'll see how that works. And we might get some feedback from some of the businesses when they start up saying, well, you know what? I have been using this in the past and now the sign says for municipal purposes only. And that should be the end of it because if we allow a business to come in, we open up the gate, we allow business to come in, who's gonna know if they're putting just leaves or brush in there or they're putting something else in there? We have to be very careful because it's, no, I know, but. Well, yeah, okay, well, thank you, so.
So Lillian will talk to the foreman and have that sign installed. Anything else, Councillor Chaptan? Okay, so that's conclude our meeting tonight because the next subject is a special, a private meeting we have to have. So thank you for being here tonight. Merci beaucoup d'être venu ce soir. Ça conclut notre réunion de ce soir. Ouais, et oubliez pas que la prochaine réunion publique est mardi prochain. C'est pas lundi. Next meeting is going to be Tuesday.